All right, we are live. A little late. That's okay. Better late than never. I'll go ahead and transition here to the lobby scene. Oh no, it's not working. Oh, I guess I'll have to reconnect everything to my stream deck. Guess we're skipping the lobby screen too. All right, so tonight we're trying something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a little bit of everything tonight. We are going to be working on my homebrewed world of Elvenwild, and we're going to be planning a D&D campaign. It's going to take a portion and a small part. I was thinking probably around this area here, maybe a little bit more to the left here. I was thinking about cutting out a chunk, zooming in on it, and making it like a province, and then setting the campaign in that province so it's a little bit more localized rather than, oh, you guys are going to journey across the entire continent. Because that just seems a little busy. This is my homebrewed world here. This is Elvenwild. Rhysfane here is this northern continent. Obviously, I kind of got some idea with what I wanted to do with the biomes and stuff. But, God, I wrote quite a few notes on it in, like, in my sketch pad. I'll see if I can figure out how to set up my other camera so I can show you guys this. It's a bit in depth. Kind of. Not a ton, but, you know, just enough to where people start questioning me. Like, what the hell are you doing with your time? Hey, no, you're good, Trev. You haven't missed anything. I have not streamed in quite a bit. You're good, my dude. I appreciate you showing up, hanging out. Been a lot of stuff going on in my life recently, so I haven't been able to stream as consistently as I wanted to according to my schedule. So if I don't get back into it, then I literally won't. So I got to get back into it while I still have the drive to, you know? Turn down my music a little bit. It always sounds so much louder in my headphones. You guys are like, it sounds fine. In my ears is fucking blaring. But what you see here, this is my D&D 5th edition homebrewed world of Elvenwild. It's divided up into three countries, as well as the Isle of Jedalaisen, which is where the giants live. The only thing that's homebrewed right now is the world. I had a magic system that I was trying to put together, but it got a little bit more complicated than I was ready to tackle. So what we're going to be doing this stream is, if I can find my little tooltip here. I'm going to have to Google it. There's a campaign building checklist that I saw and it was really cool. No, that's fucking not. You'd think I'd have all my my chickens in the basket, but unfortunately, I was not planning on doing this tonight. I was going to play some League of Legends with the new champion coming out on the PvE, but unfortunately, League is having they're having issues with the PvE, and they do not have an ETA on when it's going to be up and running. So I was like, well, shit. I'm getting kind of bored. Not really bored, but after Earl died on our Cataclysm playthrough, I was like, God, that was such a long-lasting character and all that stuff. And I don't know, it wasn't fun queuing up a different character every few minutes, you know? So what we're going to do is do some D&D homebrew, and I want to involve you guys with it. And I think it'll be a fun way to involve Twitch, and I'll get to implement and try out the new, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The new, like, polling system. So I can throw up some questions on there. You guys can decide stuff. I also have my Photoshop open here. Maybe I can draw a few things, maybe some artifacts or something like that. I was thinking it'd be really cool to draw, like, draw a sword of some sort. Hell yeah, artifact sword, OP. But I am learning how to draw, so you guys are going to have to bear with me in that sense. It's something I've always loved. It's something I've always really enjoyed. Make it blue. That'd be cool. Make it so actually I did have an idea for a material that exists in this world. Up here in this whole continent right here is a glacier. I keep saying continent. This whole country, this portion of it right here is on a glacier, with this being a tundra, not tundra, like permafrost type biome. And then obviously the closer down you go, it gets warmer and warmer. This is kind of like tundra here, and then maybe temperate forest down here, deciduous forest or whatever it is. But I had an idea for a material existing inside the glacier that was like a kind of like true ice in Plutonium, kind of like true ice in League of Legends. Just the super strong ice that was really thick, and it just really thick, and it just didn't break. So it'd be an ice weapon. So it would do frost damage. I feel like not a lot of people do like ice stuff. Maybe like because they're kind of like barbarians. Maybe some kind of like scimitar would be really cool. Woo! Like I said, I am not a good like artist whatsoever. So I am still learning. I don't know how swords work either. So we'll see. We'll mess around with it a little bit, but something like that. Maybe a little curve handled there. But then make it out of ice and just fucking stab the shit out of things. I think it'd be cool. An ice weapon that basically was as hard as steel, something along those lines. And I think it'd be really fun to mess around with that. Especially when you're homebrewing, you can do whatever. You can add materials, you can do whatever. Like I said, you can create a magic system if you wanted to. But I kind of want to figure out how to hook up my second webcam here. I have a second webcam hooked up right next to me that has my sketchpad on it with all my actual drawn out shit that I did forever ago. I'll see if I can show it to you guys without it looking like garbage on the camera. If only I could see. Nope, you guys can't see shit. Oh, and there goes my my blue screen. But so the idea for that continent was all sketched out and homebrewed and all that stuff forever ago. I don't even know when I did it. But the idea was that it was 3 countries that were at war. You know, a very generic kind of civil war idea. They're all at war. They eventually came to peace in this middle territory here. If I can show you here. This middle territory here, as you can see, it's broken up, was where they all came together. They came together at this mountain peak, and there's now a temple landmark kind of thing there, where the keepers of like the Accords sit. And so all of the countries came together, signed it, did all that shit. So now they're at peace and all of that. These guys are your typical northern barbarians. Think of the rip. Did my stream freeze? Why is it doing that? Skipped frames. Why? I'm not even showing anything like super intensive. Come on, Streamlabs. Don't be like that. Don't be like that, baby. Skip 2 frames. All right. Weird. All right, well, it looks like it's settled down now. But anyway, so these guys here in the north in Risa Faden are your typical, think barbarians. They are half giants. Crap, I have this all written down here. I have like 10 notebooks and shit. So Risa Faden, their leaders are called the Jotun and the Jota. Kind of a play on the word for giant. The country itself is composed mostly of glaciers, large ruins left from giant pilgrimage. Their exports are coal, fur, whale oil. It's gold-rich land. However, something that I thought was really cool for this country was they don't use the gold for coinage. They use it for maybe a dungeon. Yeah, those are always really cool. I really like the concept of having a island that hasn't been explored yet type thing, where a whole campaign can, kind of like Christopher Columbus. He was sent off to find, India. And they're hired by whatever the government of wherever, and then they go off and trying to find this new world, and they find an island in the Caribbeans. But that would be a really cool campaign, because basically the players or the DM can improvise the whole time, because you don't know what they're going to run into. That you could, if you wanted to, you could go and design it like ahead of time. But I think it's more fun for the players if you kind of roll with the flow with them. Ask them at like session 0 what they want to do. If they want to do more like dungeoning, if they want to do like politics, maybe they can set up a base or something on the island. If they want to literally take over the island, if they want to conquer everything that's on there, if they want to go in search of artifacts, all kinds of fun stuff that they can do on an island, especially if it's not saying you can't do that in like a pre-established like country or continent and things like that, but I think the idea of a previously undiscovered island where the party goes and adventures is a really cool concept that allows for a ton of improvisation with the party and the DM. But what we're going to be doing tonight is, if I open up some kind of notepad here, maybe I just open up Word. Do I want to open up Word? You guys gonna see all my 8 billion school assignments? I'm skipping frames again. Why is it doing this? Lower your encoder settings. Enable performance mode in the editor. Normally I never drop frames. That's kind of weird. Over the last 2 minutes. All right, hold on. I'm going to check my settings real quick and see what the fuck's going on with this. Stream settings. Where you at? Output. I'm doing what I normally do. Everything's set the same. Google Docs. That's actually a great idea instead of Word. Actually, I don't even have to use Google Docs. I can use, is it OneNote? OneNote would be good too. Do I have Steam or something running? No? Huh, weird. I'll close Discord. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Maybe I just have too much shit running. Close my Twitter, Facebook, all that shit. The only problem with using Google, or actually I can do that. What was it called again? Google Docs. Wow, that was super easy to remember. I'm literally just retarded. Google Docs, because I have a new email address that I can use. Add another account. Hell yeah. Log into that shit. Oh, look at that. No text documents. We can go ahead and open that up on this screen here. And that is actually a fantastic idea. What we'll do is we'll make... Go away, this side. Ciao. We'll make this side of the screen. We'll make our Google Docs over here. We'll just close Photoshop for the second. We're not using it right this moment. There we go. Okay, cool. Why didn't that? All right, Google Docs. Background, how much is needed, powers, deities, races. So something else I like to do is I have custom deities that I made. Hey, thanks Reckoning Media for the subscription. I appreciate it. 2 months going on strong. Close that. There we go. Okay. It was doing some weird thing there, probably because I clicked off of it. But what we're going to do is we're going to use Google Docs to tier 1. The exclamation point looked like another 1 there. But okay, so what we're going to be doing, I don't need an outline. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking it down into the background. So what the concept, the story of the campaign is going to be, what idea I have about it. House rules and everything can be explained like during the session. So really we're going to start with the background. I think that'll be a good starting spot for us tonight. With the background, so the idea that I had, and you guys can laugh, you can judge me, whatever you want, it's okay. We are going to be doing a campaign title is going to be called, can we center this? Actually, let's just make this our big, right in the middle here. A world to mold. Hey, there we go. Camera I need to scoot back. Let's go ahead and disconnect this for now. The tablet. So I can move my keyboard up. Okay, a world to mold. So essentially, the background of this campaign is a large comet. Did I spell it right? Yeah. Lands in the elven city of insert name. Made of adamantium. Elvish researchers, our elvish miners, uncover it in a large crashed in a large. Why is it blank? Why is what blank? Why did it blank? What do you mean? I'm listening, Red Canoe. What's up? I'm still dropping frames. How weird. Hey, thanks, Trev. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys, even though I don't deserve those subscriptions right now. I have been way too long from streaming, but I really do appreciate it. All right, so what is the problem here? 6 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. Your stream quality is good. It doesn't seem to be having an issue. You might have it in text only mode. If you go to your settings on your Twitch, so if you pull up the stream on your mobile device, let me mute this crap. If you go to your settings for my stream, you probably have it in text only mode or chat only mode. Look to see if you have one of those checked. Can I zoom in on this a little bit? Not really. I can make the text bigger. I just feel like you guys can't see it really good right now. Can you guys read that okay? Did you mean insert name? Yes. All right, so anyway, a large adamantium meteorite, comet, whatever you want to call it, probably meteorite. That's a smaller one. So, I mean, small meteorite, something. A meteorite, let's just call it that. A meteorite lands in the elven city of insert name here, made of adamantium. Let's not forget words. Made of adamantium, elvish miners uncovered it, crashed in a large cave system. Yeah, I don't know. Trev, are you having the same issue? As far as I see in the stream stuff, I can see myself and everything's looking fine. You must have some of your settings messed up. Can you see me? That's the question. I think Red Canoe Media is having some issues with their Twitch. Oh, yours is working? Yeah, again, Red Canoe Media, just check your settings. Make sure you don't have... Try restarting the app or... Oh my gosh, okay, boomer. I'm going to call my father a boomer. Oh no, there goes my viewer. Yeah, it's probably just your settings. It's something in your settings with the Twitch app. You probably have it on audio mode or view chat only. Something along those lines. Anyway, it crashed in a large cave system. The cave they uncovered in... The cave they uncover it in is covered in mold and fungus. And that's just going to be a MacGuffin. They're going to see that and they're going to think, oh man, this has something to do with mold or something along those lines. Because it's just going to be covered, literally covered. One of the elves, Mr. Elf, is going to notice there's a small stream from another cave system that could be the source of the mold. Hey, good question, Yarbs. I'm actually working on making some emotes for you guys. I am learning how to draw one step at a time. I really don't want to pay somebody to make emotes. I know that sounds kind of like penny pincher of me, but I have the equipment. I have a desire to learn how to do that stuff. I want to do it on my own. I only have one emote that I can upload anyway at my current level or whatever. But I want to try and draw something that I think, based off what I do and what you guys enjoy, type games and stuff like that, that'll be a little bit more fun than something I can just try and describe to an artist, if that makes sense. So the elf is going to notice a small stream coming from the cave that could be the source of the mold. That's going to be the truth. While they are investigating all this mold, the mold and the meteorites, meteor, it cracks and spills a gelatinous substance. This might sound like a story that someone else has done before or whatever. I like taking ideas from a lot of things. So the main premise of this is going to be based around a ooze. Aha, you guys thought it was mold or fungus, but it's not. It's going to be the ooze that comes from the meteorite. And what it's going to do is going to be heavily based upon the Vord from the Codex Solara series, as well as the slivers in Magic the Gathering. So essentially what this ooze is going to do is going to get into the water system. It's going to start infecting people, villagers, commoners, whatever. That's where it's going to start. And the thing is, they aren't going to understand that they're infected. What it does, or what the idea I have is for the ooze, is that it gets into their system, and it starts by deadening their nervous system. So they get real sick. They don't feel pain, but what it does is the ooze itself becomes it's not a parasite, because a parasite is only living for itself. It's there's a word for it, but it's a bond between like the host and the parasite. It's going to be kind of like that, where the ooze is feeding off of whatever the host eats and stuff like that, breathing in the oxygen, but it's pretty much going to replace everything: the bones, the muscles, the nervous system, all that stuff. They're going to be a walking ooze body and not know it, until they get shanked and they don't bleed. At which point the ooze is going to just shut off their mind and go berserk with whatever powers it has, you know. I also think what it's going to do, it can mimic all forms of live/interactions of the host. It can. I need to make bullets. I need to make bullet points here. Let's go ahead and add some bullets. Boom. Bullet number 2, it can not only mimic their forms and interactions, but it can also mimic abilities and magic. So imagine you have a sorcerer that gets infected with it. The sorcerer goes around casting his magic, so on and so forth, which is in his blood. I think that the only caveat to this is wizards won't be able to be affected by the slime. So the ooze. If the ooze infects a wizard, they'll still be able to cast their spells and stuff from their book, but once the ooze cuts, I guess, their soul, essentially, whatever, out of them, then that ooze can't use the mage's spell book to cast spells because it's a external source used to cast magic, whereas a sorcerer, it's in their blood type thing. Same with things like a paladin or a cleric. So really the only problem will be sorcerers, and I think that's a good way to kind of balance it out. Obviously, later on in the campaign, maybe at the higher levels, the oozes are able to understand that this outside source is coming from somewhere else, so they can mimic it enough that they can still gain that benefit without having to be directly tied to that source type thing. And I think that'll be really fun. So while they're investigating this mold or whatever, one of the elves will collect this ooze and go, maybe an alchemist of some sort. Ooh. An elven alchemist will collect a sample of the ooze and take it to the lab. So this is where it'll begin. It'll begin with the party going and working with this alchemist to study, if things go right, to study the mold. What I'll do is I will interact with the characters and stuff, the PCs, and really push that it's, oh wow, this place is covered in all kinds of mold. Oh, some of them look poisonous, some of them look like bioluminescent. Oh wow, something's really weird about this mold and stuff. And then they'll be like, wow, we should probably investigate this mold. All the while, it's actually the ooze that's going to end up being, you know, the campaign killer type thing, the big bad evil guy. And I think over time what's going to happen is the ooze is going to infect enough individuals that it can start, when discovered, fighting back and like taking over places and stuff. If it takes over the body of a fighter, it'll have all of that muscle memory and everything ingrained in it already from what it's absorbed from the host. And I think it's a good start for an idea. Obviously creating the stat blocks and everything is going to be a little crazy, but we'll learn as we go, and that's what's fun about campaign creation, because you can pretty much do whatever, and I think that allows for you to really just like go deep with how creative you want to be, you know? Let's see, what did I want to do? I'm trying to figure out what all I wanted to go over. So we have our idea, we have the premise and all that stuff. What we need to do is, we can kind of set this aside here, is we want to take a small chunk of this map here and kind of cut it up into where we want the campaign to take place. So let's see. Let's just take a chunk out of here and say we'll use that. So look like that, coastline here, and just a nice little area. And I don't think we can actually copy and paste. Trace tool. I haven't used this app in a minute. I don't know if it's saying it needs to update or what. But okay, so let's just grab a new landscape here. So it's going to be a small little chunk of land here. Whoop, 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 whoop. And we can add like the grittiness here to the coastline and all that stuff. Annihilation, no I have not. What's that about? It sounds familiar. Alright, so we'll do something like this. We'll just we'll figure it out as we go. There we go. Now we can kind of change the coastline, make it look a little bit more natural. Annihilation. It sounds really familiar. We're gonna go ahead and paint it green. It's gonna be in the Elvish Forest here. Go and paint everything a nice little shade of green. These people go into a zone that distorts things. They made a movie, but they are pretty different. Oh, that sounds really cool. That actually sounds like an idea I had a while ago, which was it's kind of like the SCP Foundation, something along the lines of the world is being twisted at these certain points, and at these certain points, kind of like our artifacts, similar to Control, where reality was being shaped and twisted around these items. But Annihilation, I think I saw the movie. I think that's why it sounds really familiar. Let me look up I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I saw the movie. Yeah. I watched the movie on Netflix, I think it was. But you said the book is a little different. I love books, so I will definitely check it out. I actually might see if there's a audio book available, because I use Audible, and I am always looking for new books to add with my credits. And audiobooks make it super easy because you can just sit there and listen to it. All right, so let's add some trees. Boom, look at that. Look at that already. Beautiful. All right, so we got the Elvish Forest here. Let's see if we can add a crater. No, we don't want to do that. That's Actually, if we shrink these down a little bit, we can create like a kind of a crater. Something along the lines of that. And what we'll do is we'll go into... There are 3 in the series. It's available on Libby. Oh, okay, cool. Libby is the one you can get free with like a library card, right? Go and grab like a... Nice. Yeah, that's definitely... I'll definitely go... I'll definitely check it out. Because I'm always in the mood for reading some books. Can't make it like jagged, can you? Oh, there you go. Rip. I'm just dumb. Oh, that's still not even doing anything, really. Here, let's there, now it's kind of like blending it a little bit. You got to get blended. All right, so then if we add a little bit more color, let's add some red to it, some dark red. I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's okay. We're here doing it together. Can we zoom in? We can, look at that. All right, so if we just change the brush opacity way down, just kind of paint it in there. So the meteor hit there. We're gonna have scorched earth here in the middle. Let's shrink the brush size even more. All right, so it just completely annihilated that portion of the island there. All right, it's not gonna be an island. It's gonna be part of the continent, but we're only working on a small portion of the map here. So meteor hit, just completely decimated the trees and everything there. We can actually even, oh, we got rid of our shit there. We can actually add some like blackened grass and stuff. Oh, we made it too small. No, actually that looks like crap. What the hell? Some like scorched trees around it. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I mean, obviously those trees wouldn't be standing, but it's my fantasy world, damn it. Okay, so that's where the crater hit. Nice big old chunk of land there. Looks like a scab. So then what they're going to do is they're going to discover it in a cave system. Let's see. We can go ahead and add like a city. An elvish city. Let's see. Which one would work best for that, you think? This one's not too bad. We're gonna add like an elvish city here. Amongst the trees. Perfect. And then what we can do is we can add some more trees around it. Add some little bitty tiny trees here in between the giant ones. Make it a little bit more organic. Don't mind me if I stay here with my mouth open. It's just because I'm a giant mouth breather. But why are there little tiny trees intermingled with the big trees? Well, it's supposed to be the forest of the giants, actually, in my lore. I can say that because I created this world. But, let's add a little, like, sandy coastline here. Why is it not? Oh, it's because the brush sizes. Add some beach here. Some beachfront property. There we go. Make it look a little bit more real. I love world building. I love the concept of creating something for your players to like mess around with, and especially if you create it and you put the time in and they end up enjoying it. I think it allows a greater experience for those that go and play, you know? Put a little deeper green here in the forest. Much more like fertile land. But the idea for this came to me based upon my love for Jim Butcher's The Codex Alara series. The Vord in that series are a series of insect-like chitinous aliens that adapt and evolve based upon the inhabitants of the country of Alara. And what they do is a little bit of backstory on the world of Alara. It's basically Pokemon with a Roman theme, and instead of Pokemon, they're all like elemental creatures. It's a really good book series. I highly recommend it. I've read it like 10, 15 times. But, not 10, 15 times. I've only read it like 7 times. But it's still a ridiculous amount. A really good book series. And essentially what they do is they end up taking over the elemental users and stuff like that, and they're able to start using it themselves, even though they're not like natural born inhabitants of that world. And it's a really cool concept to me of these otherworldly beings being able to basically steal something that was only supposed to go to the humans, you know? And so what I wanted to incorporate with that, and the slivers are a similar way, it's just a horde of creatures that adapt and change based upon the creatures they absorb and bring into their hive type thing. So what I want to do with that is really similar. I want to make this ooze. I was like, oh, let's do a fungus. But I feel like everyone does a lot more nowadays. A lot of people are putting like funguses and stuff like that into their campaigns, whether it's the Mycus or just a fungaloid type creature. And so I was like, well, oozes don't really get messed around with very often. What if I made a sentient ooze type creature that evolved in a similar way to like the Vord and stuff did? I think it would be a really cool idea. And what happens is the players end up having to band together with the other humans and stuff to defeat them, because they're evolving to combat casters and stuff like that. There we go. But so what we're going to do is we're going to continue to kind of figure out what we're going to do with that. So this is the country that will take the Providence, whatever you want to call it, that will take place. And there will be an elven city here, maybe add a few more along the way, because we don't want them traveling too far outside of this particular country. We want to keep it, I can't think of the word. We want to kind of keep it closed into one specific area. Because if I start like sending them across the continent and stuff, it's too broad, you know? And so if I create a smaller campaign based around a smaller area, then they are more likely to remember that. And, you know, oh, those are cool. Why didn't I just use those? Well, damn it. That's fine. That's fine. They won't be as likely to like venture off, you know. Well, let's see. We can add an elvish city there. We can add a coastal city, maybe not belonging to the elves, but just another city down here. We'll keep the elves that greenish colors because their houses are going to be, you know, like blending in with the forest and all stuff along those lines. So we'll have a nice little coastal city here. Some houses. Big house. Boom. Hey, you're just reusing assets. No, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about. But, I want to keep it in a small area, and instead of having the oozes, take over the world, have them strictly focused on this small little area. That's the long and short of it. Sorry, I'm rambling. Damn it, PB's still down. Oh well, I'll see it tomorrow. What was that? Getting weird noises. But I digress. Let's see. What else should we do? Elven alchemists will collect samples of ooze to take to their lab. The players will be pushed to investigate the mold, while this particular individual investigates the ooze. So maybe what we'll do is we'll have it be, maybe it's like an apprentice. The apprentice is investigating the ooze, and he's not familiar with it. He's just kind of trying to figure it all out. Whereas like the higher ups and stuff are like, that ooze is just space goo, collecting germs or whatever inside the meteor as it traveled. Now that's fungus that formed all around it. Now that's strange. And so they'll be investigating that, and then maybe what we do is we have the apprentice end up becoming symbiotic. That's the word I'm looking for. Symbiotic with the ooze and creating some kind of relationship with it. So the apprentice will end up getting infected with the ooze. It'll form the symbiotic bond with it, but maybe he keeps his intelligence. He understands that it embedded itself inside of him, so to speak. And so what he'll do is he'll end up becoming like the king or whatever of this race. And what he'll do is he'll use his body as a host for the ooze while it grows strong and so on and so forth. Maybe he uses his body while the ooze stagnates and gets stronger and something along those lines. And what he'll end up doing is he'll become the main bad guy, and he will begin to infect others. Maybe they shake his hand and, oh, why are you so sweaty? It's not sweat, it's ooze. Think of maybe like Ivan Ooze from the old Power Ranger movies, using all his snot and stuff to take over the adults. Hey, welcome back, Red Canoe. Or did you never leave? But something similar to how like Ivan Ooze used his snot to take over the adults and stuff. The main bad guy will concentrate this, maybe sell it as like a health potion type thing, and he'll use the ooze to infect all of the other citizens of this elven city. They obviously won't become aware of it like he did, but I think it'll be a really interesting concept. He'll end up infecting the whole city, and then when the time comes, maybe the adventurers start realizing things. Welcome back. Maybe the adventurers, the PCs, will start realizing, hey, something's going on with the alchemist dude. He's acting a bit weird. He stopped investigating the ooze. Now he's pushing these random potions that are like snake oil. They'll get keen to his whatever machinations, and he'll just like snap his fingers, and the whole town will turn on the PCs as the ooze that it was inside of them the whole time takes over, And so the party now has to kind of figure out who's all infected, and maybe as a cool thing, maybe talk to one of the players ahead of time. What are you talking about? I'm not telling a story. I'm building a world. Rude. Maybe we pull one of the PCs to the side at the beginning of the campaign, and we're like, hey, we're going to have you be infected early on with this ooze. And so when they go to confront the big bad, he snaps his fingers, and all the townfolk people get taken over, but then one of the players does too. and they're like, wait, what? No. And they had no idea it was going on or whatever. And now they're suddenly fighting against their own party, and maybe have it be one of the sorcerers and stuff. And then suddenly the ooze host is using the body to cast magic or something. I think it'd be a really cool concept. So we can actually add some like paths if we wanted to. We can add a little path to this from this city to here. No, I don't want to do that. Are you just gonna start spamming emotes now? Oh, it didn't break it up. I thought I clicked on it. Oh, you have to click over there. That's kind of weird. Well, thank you. Let's do this. I like the kind of like the hash marks. We can make them smaller too. There we go. Something along those lines. Just a path from the city to the other, like a trade route or whatever. And so this is where the meteor is going to hit with the ooze inside of it. The city here, the Elvish city, which can we add? We can add text. Label. Elf City. Why is it that ugly color? All right. I don't need another one. But Elf City and Human City. Ah, yes, of course. So this campaign will mostly take part between the crash site, the Elf City, and the Human City. Maybe I'll add another city over here. I'm not sure. But what we'll do is we will continue to kind of break it down and figure out what we're going to do exactly. I like the idea where our story is going right now, where the apprentice alchemist becomes kind of a host for the ooze itself and becomes like this symbiotic partnership. A zombie city. Yeah, essentially. So what they'll do is they'll take over. They'll infect them similar to like a zombies, where after the ooze becomes active, there's a good word for it. Once it becomes active, the person that was originally controlling the body dies. Because what we're going to do is the ooze is going to infect the body, and then it's going to start eating everything from the inside, while sustaining the body, using itself as like the source of sustenance. So it's going to eat everything out, grow bigger as it eats, using its body and stuff and mass and everything to support the human body until it becomes active and it just takes over the brain, the heart, whatever you want, and absorbs it all completely. So now it's just a ooze inside of a soft skin coating. Because it'll like eat the bones and everything. Think of like a gelatinous cube. And then so, feed me, Seymour. So, let's see. Let's see if we can try and do some stuff here. I don't know what we're going to do, but let's try it. Beep, boop, beep. All right, so we have our human bro here. Hello, it's me. The ooze will come, wiggle around. Oh, hello. It'll get into the body. It'll eat everything inside the body. The bones, everything, the muscles, until it's activated. And then when it's activated, it'll become a zombie human type thing. A zombie asterisk. An ooze zombie, kind of. And so, what kind of benefits do we want for this ooze? Obviously, the ooze itself will not, take pain and stuff like a human would. So, no matter how many knives and arrows and stuff they launch into the ooze human, the oozeman, it'll still continue to go forward. But Ryan, you may ask, but the bronze demon, how are they going to fight it? So they're going to use giant syringes. And what they're going to do is they're going to suck it out. No, I like the idea of maybe one of the good alchemists coming up with some kind of potion that if they're able to coat their weapons with it, it'll basically turn the infected body to dust, and it'll start falling apart. But do we want them to stay in their humanoid shape, or do we maybe want to, like, when they makes you crave Rice Krispies? Your bones go snap, crackle, and pop, and then suddenly you're craving some delicious puffed rice. Let's see. So the meteorite, there's our meteorite there. Got some nice little pocks into it. It'll crack like an eggshell. And out of the meteorite will come a nice little ooze boy. And what's the ooze boy doing? Nobody knows. He's just a little ooze. And then from there, he just starts taking over the world. I really can't wait to start getting good at drawing so I can start drawing my D&D characters. I gotta learn how to draw circles first. That's a pretty good one. And then you gotta draw the draw line. Anyway, I'm learning how to draw. It's something I'm doing completely separately. But so what we have so far is we have a little bit of the city generated, a little bit of what we want the map to kind of look like, the areas where they're going and everything like that. We have a gist of the story. The meteor lands, meteorite, meteor, whatever. I keep using those terms interchangeably, but I'm pretty sure they're different. I think meteorite's a small one, a small boy. They crash, lands in a cave system. The cave system was discovered by some miners or those who go and investigate the big boom. Find the meteor surrounded by all kinds of fungus, mycos, all kinds of stuff, poisonous, bioluminescent, normal, hallucinatory, all kinds of different fungus and stuff just growing around this thing. One of the elves suggests that it's probably because of this underground river flowing through from another cave. One original idea I had too was that the players can investigate this like little trickle of water, and if they go and mess with the wall where the trickle of water comes in, it like floods the cavern, covering all of the fungus and all that stuff, and the ooze comes floating to the top, kind of like oil. And so that's what allows the alchemist to collect it, and he checks it out while they're still worried about sending in divers and stuff to go check out the fungus. Quick, collect samples before it's ruined. But what we're going to do is we're going to go with kind of a combination of the Zord from... the Vord, not the Zords. The Vord from Jib Butcher's Codex Alara, Slivers from Magic the Gathering, maybe a little bit of Ivan Ooze as the bad guy, where he's using the ooze to kind of take over the population type thing. And so with that idea, the players are going to have to combat. They're going to go off and chase a red herring. They're going to be investigating something else. Maybe they run into a few more side quest type thing. What I want them to do is to leave the elf city, and come back to find it just completely abandoned. And then when they go to investigate it, they end up finding all of the bodies and stuff at the crash site, with our big bad guy sitting in the middle, you know? And they're trying to figure out, oh, what the hell happened here? And then he turns to them. Maybe half his face is dissolved with the ooze or something. Maybe the ooze is like a tumor kind of thing, pulsating on his face and body. And he turns to them and is like, "My master's hungry," type thing. And then all of the other bodies stand up with the ooze like leaking out of their orifices and everything. And then the cool thing is the party will have to be mindful of getting the ooze on them, because if it gets on them, it'll infect. If they are wounded, so if they're below 50% of their health points, is what I'm going to do. If they're below 50% of their health and they get the ooze on them, there's a Constitution save versus the ooze is what I want to do. So if below 50% HP, bloodied, they have to make a con save or be infected with an early stage of the ooze. So the reason that I want to do it like that, and they're like, oh, but what about the peasants? They weren't injured and stuff like that. Well, they're peasants. So you gotta keep some kind of fantasy going with the relationship between like peasants and the PCs and characters and stuff like that. Because if they're able to just get a splatter of ooze on them and then immediately be infected, no save, nothing like that, that's not going to be fun for them. If instead they have that kind of mythic like protection of the gods or whatever kind of status going about them, and they have a little bit more hardiness to them, that makes it more fun for the players, in my opinion. And I'm always down with having fun with the players. I'm not out to win D&D. I'm not the DM versus the players. I'm there to guarantee their fun, you know? And if they immediately get infected, it's not fun. And that's why, even like I said here, infected with an early stage of the ooze, to where they can go and find a cure, or they can, like I said, find that potion that just completely dissolves the ooze, and stuff like that. Because oozes aren't a non-familiar enemy in D&D. They do exist. There's all kind of them. Think of the black ooze. Think of gelatinous cube. Things like that. Those are oozes, and they're a staple of a lot of D&D. And so it won't be insane to think of measures that they can come up with in order to combat the oozes, you know? So having them have the ability to defeat the ooze will allow them to continue to want to play and be invested in the campaign, you know? Why does it do that? I don't know why this thing does that. Try to click here. Oh, I need to add an asterisk. These are not the actual names. I'm sure you guys know that, but I don't want someone to join and be like, really? That's all you got, dude? Elf City and Human City? Yeah, man. Can't you tell my creativeness is flourishing? But what I think is, if I get this up and running and I find players, what I want to do is do a Twitch D&D stream. Find viewer players or players in the D&D subreddit and have you guys join. Maybe doing like a once a week type thing or once every other week, where my viewers get to play, and I can... What I think would be cool is making a choose your own adventure type setup, where using the poll system, the viewers can play as a pre-selected character or something that we all agree and vote on, and they can play like a solo adventure through this campaign. Instead of having to go and find players and, you know, putting together a campaign of a bunch of different players, I can do polls and have Twitch chat vote, you know, and see what decisions they make. Maybe go through and make 4 or 5 different choices and have the party have Twitch chat, which will be playing as the character, choose what decision they make. And you can go all the way from like lawful good to chaotic evil type playthrough, where you end up joining the ooze or something along those lines. I think it'd be a cool thing for Twitch to be integrated with the poll system. So we'll work together with the Twitch chat, with like a D&D subreddit, to create a character that everyone enjoys, maybe a bard, or a human fighter, you know, the most typical character. And each week, Twitch chat, whoever's there, it doesn't have to be the same people. Each week, Twitch chat comes together, and based off 4 or 5 different choices, they get to go through the campaign. And I'll describe their choices. I'll use descriptive words and all that stuff to basically play DM for Twitch chat. And I think that'll be a fun way to approach it, utilizing Twitch as the player. Maybe we can run multiple characters. I think it'd be better to just stick with one, and Twitch chat is just like the million voices in that character's head. Now, obviously, I'm not a big streamer, so I'll post a lot to the D&D subreddits and behind the screen and all of those other ones, and see if I can get players together to come check it out. We'll post them to YouTube, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and make just like a choose your own adventure. You guys will go through the campaign, obviously knowing a little bit of the background, but that's okay. You guys are going to be metagaming in a way, because Twitch chat will be making decisions based off of information that I have to make available to everybody so that they understand what's going on. Maybe keep like a note log of everything that's happened, all the previous choices type thing. But I think it'll be fun to integrate Twitch chat into the decision making as a character, and they can play the hero, they can play the villain, whatever they want to do. Just allow them to have that fun instead of having to go and find 4 or 5 players, you know? But what we'll do is we'll turn this into a campaign. I will continue to work on it week by week. It's a little bit harder for me to just kind of start off without having some kind of outline. I'm really bad with doing things without an outline, so I need to go online, find what a guideline of some sort. I watch all kinds of videos and stuff and ideas, but it's hard for me to integrate that without some kind of not physical, but something I can look at and go off of. Okay, I have this, check, I have this, check, I have this. Okay, now my campaign is done type thing. If you guys know anything like that, let me know. Go ahead and send it to me here, or send it to me private, whatever you want. But I think it'll be a cool concept, and I think it'll allow you guys to stay engaged and stuff. And we'll have a little map tracking the character's progression and stuff like that. We could be the super edgy rogue character. We could be a seductive bard, without breaking TOS. We could be a paladin. We could be anything like that. We could be whatever Twitch chat decides upon. And I think it'll be a good way to approach a D&D campaign with Twitch. Instead of me going out and finding players, I'll allow you guys, whoever joins, to make decisions and stuff like that. Even if it's only 1 or 2, that's still between like 2 or 3 is the size of a normal group of players with the DM, DMing. So even if I don't have a ton of viewers, it still allows you guys to be interactive and like make decisions and stuff. Now, of course, if there's only 1 or 2 of you, you guys will probably have to agree on the decision. Or what'll end up happening is I'll probably end up like role playing a middle ground type result, where if there's a tiebreaker, if there's a tie, go to this result type thing. Like, oh, you took too long to make a decision, or you were conflicted about the decision, so this happens type thing. And I think that'll allow some fairness in the decisions the players make, as well as the interaction between me and the DM and me as the DM and all that stuff. Combat will be really fun. Choosing on what abilities to use just to swing your sword, running away. I think it'll be cool because with only one player character, it'll allow you guys to really, really get creative with what you want to do in the context of the choices, you know. But I think this is a good start. I think it's World Mole. There we go. Boom! Look at that. Save it there. It's already good to go. It's already got the basics down here. We'll figure out, once I find a good guide, we'll figure out what exactly I want to incorporate into the world itself. Feature and introduce an anchor NPC. All right, we got that. We got the apprentice. Recurring rival or villain, they'll be the same person. Campaign, backstory element or clue, the ooze. A world element. The country itself, maybe have something, world element. Okay, that'll be different. We'll have to figure out what to integrate with that. Feature a monster of interest. Yep, we're gonna have the mole, the ooze. Campaign organization. An organization. Maybe we'll have like a guild. Let's add like a little asterisk here. Maybe a guild of alchemists / like a artificers in the human city. Hello? Did I hit F11? There we go. In the human city. Ooh, I cannot type tonight. The band together to defeat the ooze. So maybe something along those lines. That'd be a good idea. I like that. I like that. And then maybe what we'll do is feature a theme element in your setting. A certain theme you wish to emphasize. Ooh, theme. Now that's a tough one. Something along the line of, not really forgiveness, I was going to say, because maybe we could use the apprentice as, you guys bullied me and walked all over me, and now this creature, I mean, that's a good one to use. Like a power trip type thing, where a person who had no power gains all the power suddenly. So now you have to sympathize with that person, regain their humanity. That could work. I like that. I like that. Maybe they sacrifice themselves in the end to get rid of the ooze. I like it. I like it. They freeze themselves, Han Solo style. That's actually a pretty cool idea. Let's add this to our maybe board here. Let's go ahead and add a space there, and let's go ahead and center this. This will be our maybe board. So maybe that happens, and then why did it do that? Oh, what? Why did it add it as a separate line? That was kind of weird. So maybe Guild of Alchemists there. Maybe power over humanity. With the apprentice suddenly becoming all-powerful compared to those who talked down to him. I like the idea. I like the idea of it being a kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a battle of morals, where the apprentice was talked down to. He was treated like shit, and as a result, he latched on to this source of power, and now he's the oppressor. He's the strong one. And so he starts taking over. He starts destroying all those who ever talk down to him, enslaving them, making them under the ooze type thing. And as a result, he like loses a bit of his sanity type thing. And so what the players have to end up doing is talking him out of it, or convincing him that it's not a good, path to go down. It's only going to result in his loneliness or ruin and type thing, but at the hand of the PC or whatever we want to do with it. I think it'll be a really cool way to go. What we'll do is we'll start focusing on this from now on for a little bit. Not exactly every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I want to devote at least a little bit of time to it each stream. Not making the whole stream about it, every week, but making a small portion of it where after we get done playing games, we can set aside some time and say, hey, let's work on the campaign a little bit. Here's what we've got so far. Let's start making choices. Let's start making our character. Let's figure out what you guys, the viewers on Twitch, want to do, And I think in the end, it'll be a great experience. You guys will get to play D&D. You'll get to live the nostalgia of that choose your own adventure type style. You'll get to be heroes, villains, whatever you want to be, and I think that's the fun of it. You'll get to go ham and just get to experience that D&D, because when you play D&D, there's a certain, I don't know. I wrote a few papers on D&D, and it's when you come together in that communal storytelling, there's something about it, and it may not be for everyone. I'm not going to say all my viewers are going to be like, oh hell yeah, D&D, let's play D&D. That's fine. The people that show up, though, I believe will enjoy it in its own special way. I think it'll be something different. It'll be something new. It may have already been done. I can't speak for all of the different streamers on Twitch and stuff, but I think putting together something involving you guys, kind of like a Twitch plays type thing, mixed in with like a choose your own adventure, I think it'll be a cool and interesting concept for you guys to get to do. And I look forward to it. I'm just glad to be back streaming. I took a week or so off, missed a few days, so on and so forth in between. There's been a lot going on in my life with my wife, with my little one. He's fucking popping out teeth left and right, and he is not feeling good because of it. And so been focusing a lot on my mental health as well as my family's mental health and things going along those lines. My little girl is struggling a lot at school with bullying, and as a result is becoming like a bully herself. So there's been a lot going on in my personal life that I just haven't been able to stream. And I know you guys don't want to hear excuses, but I'm glad to be back and glad to be getting into it again. And I look to be streaming again every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tonight's stream's probably not going to be too long just because I wanted to play something, but it didn't end up going through, and everyone that I normally play with is offline. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me tonight. I know it wasn't a very long stream. Thanks again for subbing, Trev and Red Canoe. You guys are the best. I like I said, I don't deserve those, but it means a lot, and I really do appreciate you guys continuing to subscribe to me. It really warms my heart that people want to come and check out my stream. But we got some good ideas here. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I will probably end up in the long run making another tab where the viewers can come together to put character ideas and stuff along those lines. And you guys can go ahead and post all kinds of ideas there. You can vote on them and determine what you guys in the end want to end up running. Because based on your character choice for your PC will determine me as the DM what choices I give you guys, what kind of based off your character's personality that you end up getting, what kind of choices you guys can make. I'll make your typical good through evil type things, but also just some fun ones thrown in there, and just because it's supposed to be a fun game, and it's what I want to do is also get choices from you guys, because it's not going to be very interactive if I just make up all the choices. So once you guys get your character together, we can start hashing out ideas for choices and stuff you can make, like go to the pub, or the pub. It's not a pub in D&D. It's the tavern, and start a tavern fight. Oh wow, very original, Ryan. No, what you see is what I meant with start a tavern fight mentally with the other people. It's a battle of wits. But I think it'll be an amazing experience. I really look forward to it because I just want to play D&D again. It's been a long time coming. Unfortunately, most like online campaigns and stuff, at least in my experience, have burnt out and things like that, just fallen apart over time. So I miss playing D&D, and I don't really have any groups here, so I'm going to try and put something together for Twitch. But thanks again for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys who resubbed. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. Thanks for everything you guys have given to me. And again, I'm going to continue to work on emotes. I have quite a few ideas and stuff that are a start, I guess. Like a PogChamp one and just like a hello one. I might just end up using my face. I know a lot of streamers do that instead of making a mascot. And that'll be easy. Just take a photo of myself and kind of cartoonize it, animate it with my tablet and everything. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. Maybe I'll stream that one time. Again, I'm learning how to draw, so it's not going to be beautifully shadowed and rendered and just amazing. But I want to do something special for you guys who sub to me and give back to those who put time and your money, even if it's a free subscription, it's still your money, into my channel. And again, closing, I appreciate you guys. I look forward to doing this with y'all. I'm going to try and build a audience on D&D subreddits and Twitter and all that stuff. See if I can reach out and see if people are going to be interested in doing this. And I'm pretty sure with the with things like the Adventure Zone and Critical Role and all that stuff, and not another D&D podcast, D&D is really flourishing right now, and I love it. So I think it'll end up getting a good audience, and I think you guys will really enjoy it, and it'll be a lot of fun. But until then, thank you guys for everything, and I will see you